Sure. Well, leadership is all about action. I remember the quote coming up from the elders where they would say, people do as you do, not as you say. And that's a true statement. Let's think about Michael Jordan. In the 80s, Michael Jordan dominated basketball. I mean, he was the most entertaining figure in the sport of basketball, and he attracted millions of fans. When Michael Jordan jumped from the free throw line and dunked the basketball, he set off a wave of emotions and mental images within millions of people. As a result of that action and numerous others, people made the statement, I want to be like Mike. We went out and we purchased his t-shirts, his jerseys, his shoes, and numerous other memorabilia in a subconscious display of identification. What we were really saying was, I want to do what Michael Jordan did. We were saying, I want to inspire others as Mike did, or as he inspired me. We wore his number 23 Bulls jersey and shoes in an attempt to engage in a sort of vicarious experience. We wanted to walk in his shoes and see what it felt like to be Mike and do what Mike did. There was even a movie with Bow Wow where he put Michael Jordan's shoes on and he, somehow developed Michael Jordan's ability to play basketball. These things were going on in our minds as we saw him display the actions that he did. Why and how was Mike able to do what he did? Mike developed a winning mindset, and he chose to display behaviors that were in line with that mindset, which is what I call mind behavior or mind action congruency, the alignment of mindset, value, and beliefs with actions. He was able to do this as a result of his love for the game of basketball and his winning mindset. Through the book Core Leadership, I invite everyone to take this journey of self-exploration, self-understanding, and introspection because I feel that they are extremely vital when it comes to leadership. This is how Mike developed his mindset because he had self-understanding. He knew what he wanted from the game. He identified with his beliefs, his passions, his joys, his core values, and he was able to live them out consistently. As leaders, we have to become aware of those things, especially when we're leading others. This understanding can lead to behavioral change that might have the possibility of inspiring actions. As leaders, we have to do things that tug at the emotions of others, such as what Jordan and other leaders did. I'm just using Michael Jordan because he was an action leader. He led by action. Everyone keeps asking me, what are you talking about, Larry, when you talk about the Pied Piper effect? I mentioned the Pied Piper effect when discussing my book on my website. Also, it was seen in my commercial above Harriet Tubman's head because she too was an action leader. She was able to identify with her values, her expectations, which was freedom. And she connected that with others who had that same mindset, and she was able to help them to engage in actions, which was to navigate through the Underground Railroad to freedom. There's a story about a Pied Piper in a town called Hamlin, and in this town, it was infested with rats. The people hired this Pied Piper to come in and eliminate the town from the rats. He did that using a flute. After he provided the service for these people, they didn't pay him, so he used that same influence to take their children and lure their children out of the town of Hamlin. So I use this because the Pied Piper, through his pipe and his rhythm and his actions, he was able to influence both the rats and children to engage in actions that he wanted them to engage in. As leaders, we have to learn the value of the Pied Piper effect for influence. Some of the factors involved with the Pied Piper effect from my perspective are mood. It is extremely important that as leaders we constantly be aware, self-reflection, self-understanding, introspection of our mood. They taught that to us in elementary school, that your attitude, determines your altitude. And this was something that I struggled with years ago, but I've over the years learned the value of mood. As leaders, we have to always project positive possibilities. Leadership is always about projection, which means that sometimes you're going to have to act even if you aren't feeling up to par. So mood is one of the factors of the Pied Piper effect. Another factor is engagement. I talk about how we invest when it comes to money, you know, whether it's stocks, bonds, a savings account, or whatever. We invest back and forth. We invest. We put money in. We watch it. We pay attention, which is interest, and we watch it grow. We have to do the same thing with those that we lead. We have to engage them in back and forth dialogue, in back and forth engagement, and hopes that that will be an investment that might grow and provide positive possibilities. Another thing is consistency. In the book Core Leadership, I present a goal setting or a goal following, a goal model where I use time and I provide time with human characteristics. So I use time and I personify time. And one of the factors or one of the behaviors of time is consistency. Time has been consistent since the beginning of time, and it has never deterred. As a result of that, we are where we are today because time has never deterred from its goal, which is to get to tomorrow. As leaders, we have to adopt some of these things. And if we do, we might be able to have that same type of effect that Jordan had or Harriet Tubman had and numerous other leaders had to cause others to follow them. But it starts with a mindset. I encourage individuals to develop a set of affirmations. One of the affirmations that I always say is that tomorrow is going to be better than today for me. I'm only going to get better. And I'll develop these affirmations and put them on my dresser mirror, and I read them every day and I digest them. And I've learned that digested wisdom transforms us.